The who would win in the week this week is Alfred, Batman's butler, versus Geoffrey, the butler from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. What do you know about Geoffrey's backstory?
All right, so I'm glad you asked. So I'm sure there's real lore out there. What's the uncle's name again?
Phil.
Uncle Phil. Here's the thing.
I'll do a little independent study, too.
Yeah. This is just, again, you're going to tell me I'm wrong, probably. But
No, lay it down.
Alfred, there's two things that I think make Alfred very important.
Mm-hmm.
And it's his understanding of why Bruce is Batman. Not because, like, Bruce's dad was Batman, but because Bruce's dad was so passionate about, like, saving the city of Gotham. Or, like, making the city of Gotham a better place.
Through his philanthropy.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, to Alfred, he gets why Bruce needs to be Batman, kind of.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
He's like, that's, because, whatever. But in turn, that also connects Alfred directly with Batman. Like, he kind of has a dog in the fight, potentially. And that's why he helps him with a lot of things. And obviously, he was previously, I think, way back in the day, I think he was in the military, Alfred.
Yeah, that's right. He's got medical training.
And he's got story. Yeah. So, what's the other butler's name?
Geoffrey.
Geoffrey. Dude, see, my brain is literally operating at maybe 3% today, folks. The thing about Geoffrey is that I don't know how long he's been with Uncle Phil, but my guess is that he was with the family when the children were born.
Yeah.
Alfred is not necessarily, like, the way that the Waynes became successful through that philanthropy and everything, Alfred's just along for the ride with Batman. I have to assume, knowing the type of guy Uncle Phil is, when he hustles a game of pool, that's one of very few scenes that I remember from that show, and just his loud, boisterous voice and his intimidation factor, that in his rise to, wealth, he had to get his hands a little dirty sometimes.
Oh.
And
no.
I bet you that Geoffrey played more of a hand in that than most people would think. Because I think you look at Geoffrey and who he butlers versus Alfred and who he butlers, and you automatically assume Alfred's the bigger badass. I think that, Geoffrey has buried a couple bodies for Uncle Phil is what I'm trying to say.
That is an interesting way to put that, because I mean, not that Alfred has done that literally, but I mean,
yeah,
he's got to I mean, keeping Batman secret and helping him with all the specific Batman stuff.
For sure.
Yeah.
But that's why I brought up, like, the origin of how they're tied together, because Alfred was there.
Alfred was the butler of Bruce Wayne's parents.
Exactly.
And then when they got killed, he became Bruce's guardian.
Whereas Geoffrey started with Uncle Phil when Uncle Phil was on his rise to
prominence.
Yes. And so that's why I'm saying, to me, Geoffrey, listen, I'm not taking Geoffrey, but I'm just saying that I think Geoffrey has a little bit more in the tank than people are going to initially assume when they look at this thumbnail.
Yeah, well, I think if you watch Fresh Prince, which I used to a ton, just by Geoffrey's demeanor, you can tell, he's a guy who can throw down if he needs to. And Alfred, obviously, same thing, the boxing training and the medical training mostly. Now, Geoffrey was an Olympic level runner before working for the Banks family. Jesus, I forgot there. So I think these guys who are dedicated to, these are two guys who, in every single aspect of their life, have dedicated themselves to discipline. Now, this is in a different way than if we were doing, like, Bruce Lee versus Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
These are two guys who have discipline in every single aspect of their lives. Their entire being depends on it. It's ingrained in each of them. So when they actually fight each other, I think it would really, really be quite the spectacle. Because they also, part of being a butler is like, I actually just saw this video, I shit you not, of like real butler training. Because I guess they still have butlers.
Oh yeah, there's butlers.
So if you go to like a modern butler school, I guess over in England or something, the video that I saw, there was this thing where all the butlers in training had a silver tray with like glasses on it. They had to walk around the room, and then their butler instructor in the center of the room had a dodgeball, and he would throw it at them, and he was like, "You got to protect your tray. You got to protect your shit." Like, that's butlering. That's butting. That's a butler right there.
Yeah.
And Alfred and Geoffrey are both the pinnacle of being a butler. And I'm talking, even if you look at like Mr. Belvedere, or I'm trying to think of any other like the robot butler from Benchwarmers.
Yeah.
Like these, those guys, fine butlers, but Alfred and Geoffrey are like, I mean, what is even the
always
equivalent to that?
The
They're the Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, like they're just on a different level from everybody else. Yeah. So when two guys of that prowess actually go toe to toe, because I think their fighting styles are also pretty different. Geoffrey coming from the running background, Alfred obviously a little more of that old school. But I think now hear me out on this.
Yep, I'm being very patient.
Yes, well done. Quite the elegance of a butler you have, Matthew. If Alfred with the boxing training and stuff, kind of that form, like this is the form and this is how you do it. Geoffrey, improviser, and even again, if you think about the houses that they're in, like you said, obviously Alfred being Batman's butler, you're gonna have to deal with a lot of crazy shit, but it's still like, okay, he's Batman. I've got to help him keep his secret, and I've got to stitch him up, dress his wounds, whatever. If you're Geoffrey, it's like, I got 5 of these fucking kids running around, and the parents, like, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what they fucking need. Yeah. Like, the ability to improvise is on Geoffrey's side.
I think, like, I guess to sum up what I was getting at earlier, too, because it kind of ties into that, is, like, Alfred assists Batman, but Batman does his own dirty work. Uncle Phil can't do his own dirty work. Bang. Now, here's what I'll say, and I think this is what ultimately makes the difference, because I didn't know the runner thing, but Alfred is definitely a better physical fighter than Geoffrey.
At this point, yeah. Alfred keeps it
tight.
The
other thing about Alfred that I don't know if Geoffrey has is I'm 99% certain Alfred can take a punch. Like, he can take his beating and dish a beating. I don't know that Geoffrey can take a beating. I'm not saying he hasn't gotten his hands dirty and had to do some shady shit, but I don't know that he's ever been put in a scenario where his back's against the wall and he's just eating rights and he's got to get himself off the ropes.
Oh, I promise you, Geoffrey's no stranger to having his back against the wall. That's the thing, that when you really look at it, these guys, the discipline and the stamina that it takes for them just to continue their jobs and stay loyal to the people that they work for. I mean, yeah, trust me, Geoffrey can take a fucking punch. I promise you that. Do not worry
like
about
Alfred
that.
Though can just, like, people from that era, like that grew up, like they're just hard. They're hardened.
Geoffrey's pretty hard too. From what I've seen in my grinder studies, Geoffrey's pretty fucking hard.
I'm taking Alfred.
I'm taking Geoffrey, actually.
That's
and
insane.
I'm a Batman fella.
And I tried to help hype up Geoffrey at the start.
I tried
just
to hype up Alfred.
Just give him a fair shake, but I can't believe that's ludicrous. You're locking that in, really.
I'm locking it in. I think it's a really exciting
fight. You're not
pulling
my leg. You're not.
No, you know what? I'm betting my money on Geoffrey. I think that he's going to be the underdog. But I'm going to put my cash on him, and I'm going to get a nice little payday.
Vote on that on Instagram on Friday. Who would win of the week? Geoffrey, the butler from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, versus Alfred, the butler from the Batman.